Hello everyone, it's your buddy Sven here, once again coming at you with another Hearthstone deck list. Now, we have gone past our basic series. We have covered the 9 classes with basic rules and restrictions and whatnot, so now we get to go into some of the stuff that is more complex, costs some dust, maybe costs a little bit of pack luck, but you know what? These decks usually tend to pay out and be a little bit stronger than basic decks, usually. Now, the deck we're going to be covering today is Patron Warrior. Now, in case you guys haven't noticed, I've named mine Dwarven Steel, got Magni. Same hero power as the standard Warrior, it's just the alternate hero for it. Now, I'm pretty excited for this deck because I've had a lot of fun with Patron Warrior, and it's a pretty strong deck. I think it's the top deck of the format right now, and there's a lot of reasons that it is. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get right into talking about why it's so good and the cards in the deck. I play double Enrage, 0 mana to deal 1 damage to a minion, give it to attack. Now, Patron Warrior is themed around Grim Patron, which I'll talk about later, but you'll see why this card is extremely good. The payoff is already really good, costs 0 mana, really strong card in my honest opinion. Double Execute, 1 mana to destroy a damaged enemy minion. I mean, come on, you could swing something into it, or you could Whirlwind, or you can even Enrage it and then execute it for only 1 mana to kill literally any unit in the game, barring if Enrage was to pop the Divine Shield of a unit. 2 Whirlwinds, which is 1 to deal 1 damage to all minions. Double Fiery War Axe, the 2/3/2 weapon, very standard weapon, but in my opinion, still a good weapon. We play 4 weapons in total in this deck. And I'll go into talking about how to get the other one. Double Battle Rage, which is 2 mana to draw a card for each damage-friendly character. This includes your minions and your hero. I will spoil something. Your units will be taking damage. That is the goal of Patron Warrior in a way. Double Slam, 2 mana, deal 2 damage to a minion. If it survives, draw a card. You could use this on yourself. You could use it on your minions or your opponents. Using 2 mana to destroy the enemy minion if it's at 2 or lower health. There are better ways in your deck to destroy it if it's at 2 or lower, but this can still get you out of a jam. 1 Acidic Swamp Ooze. I know I usually like to play double, but in this deck there are far too many other cards to use, and basically this is pretty much an insurance policy against other Patron Warriors. Not a lot of Patron Warriors actually play Ooze in my experience, so popping off one of their 4 weapons or one of their 3 weapons is really easy and it's really nice. Double Armor Smith. This card is huge because whenever a friendly minion takes damage, gain 1 armor. This is per minion, not per point of damage, but per minion. So if you play Whirlwind and you have 5 units out on your field, you gain 5 armor with Armor Smith's effect. It's really beautiful because she counts herself, and there are so many great things to do. You can Enrage her to turn her into a 3/3 for 2 mana, and you get an armor out of it. That's really cool. Cruel Taskmaster, which is 2/2/2 version of Enrage on Battlecry. The difference between him and why he costs 2 mana is because he also brings a 2/2 body with him, which is kind of cool. It's really nice, and he could serve for some of your other effects like Armor Smith or Frothing Berserker when we get into him. Now, Unstable Ghoul. Unstable Ghoul is really nice. 2/1/3, you get this guy out of Shade of Naxxramas, one of the expansion wings. Taunt, Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to all minions. You can see why we play him with that deal 1 damage. That makes a whole lot of sense with Armor Master. And then this next card, Acolyte of Pain. We play 2 of him compared to the 1 of Unstable Ghoul, 1 of Taskmaster so far, and 1 of Ooze. 3/1/3, whenever this minion takes damage, draw a card. This card is really sweet. Patron Warrior, it relies on getting a combo out there, which I will describe the combo in detail when we get to it. But you need the draw power in your deck in order to get to that combo. Acolyte of Pain has the potential to draw 3 cards for you. That is pretty sweet. You can Enrage him or Whirlwind him and you still get the draw. It's not when your opponent does damage to him. It's whenever he just takes damage. Now, Frothing Berserker, I only play 1 of the Frothing Berserker. A lot of people like to play 2, and I've fiddled around with 2, but I seem to have quite a bit of success with some other attacks, like they'll usually sacrifice a Gnomish Inventor down here for it, but I like playing 1 of him because it gives me some extra draw and some assurance to get the main combo off on the deck, and I usually seem to win out. He's a 3/2/4. Whenever a minion takes damage, gain 1 attack. This card is widely considered to be the strongest card in this deck, despite the fact that he is the patron of Patron Warrior. Now, the reason this guy is so strong is because for every unit on the field that takes damage, he gains 1 attack. He starts as a 2/4, So he has some health. You can use effects like Inner Rage to buff him up, and then he'll get the extra attack. You could use Whirlwind on a borderline full field, and he'll gain something like... He can gain double-digit attack off of a Whirlwind. It's disgusting. This guy will be your main finisher. He's really strong. He could play 2. You could play 2 in lieu of a Gnomish Inventor, but I personally only play 1. Double Warsong Commander. Warsong Commander is half of the main strategy in this deck. Or a third if you want to count Frothing Berserker in there. It's a 3/2/3. Whenever you summon a minion with 3 or less attack, give it charge. Now, this is going to make a whole lot of sense, but bring out a... Consider what's considered to be a weaker unit. She doesn't count herself in that, because even though she's only 2 attack, she's kind of, she doesn't count in her own effect. This will make a lot of sense when we get into the later stuff. Death's Bite. Now, this is the weapon out of the Warrior class challenge in the Shade of Naxxramas. So you will need Naxxramas in order to build what is considered to be a top-tier Patron Warrior deck. 4/4/2, Death Rattle, deal 1 damage to all minions. Again, we have all that damage to one damage to all minions. Dread Corsair. Now, a lot of people consider pirates to be really underpowered, and a 4/3/3 with Taunt is not great. But what makes Dread Corsair good in this deck, and why we play one of him, is because not only is he like our only taunt in this deck, he costs 1 less per attack of your weapon. That means that if you have Fiery War Axe equipped, he goes down to a 1/3/3, and if you have Death's Bite, he's a 0/3/3. That is extremely strong. So he's really good if you have a weapon equipped. I would not ordinarily recommend playing him when he's on his own and you don't have a weapon, but if you have to, then you have to. Double Gnomish Inventor for me for that extra card draw. 4/2/4, draw a card, battle cry. Now, Grim Patron. This is the focus of your deck. This guy is absolutely so much fun to play. I love him to death. 5/3/3, nowhere close to efficient in stats, but whenever this minion survives damage, you summon another Grim Patron. This is where the Hearthstone meme, everyone get in here, comes from. Now, the reason that this is so good and why we play, stuff like Inner Rage, Whirlwind, the Death Bite effect, Cruel Taskmaster, all this stuff that can do damage minions just across the board. Not only are you hurting your opponent, you're going to get another Grim Patron, and 1 turns into 2, 2 turns into 4, and then if you were to trigger the 4, you'd fill up the rest of your field. Now, the synergy with Warsong Commander, Grim Patron is a 3/3. You bring him out, he has charge. He could swing into something that has 1 or 2 attack, summon another Grim Patron, and then he could keep swinging, and it's this giant snowball to the point where you've whittled your opponent's field down to nothing, and your field is quite strong. Now, we wrap up this deck with an Emperor Thorson. Emperor Thorson requires the first wing of Blackrock Mountain. So it does require both expansions. I did Naxxramas to the completion, but I don't think you have to complete it. I think you only need up to wing 4 or 3. I think it's 4 for a safe bet, and then you would need the first wing of Blackrock Mountain. But past that, this deck only costs about 1,000 dust, which is pretty simple. That's not an overwhelming cost. That's considered cheap for a deck. It just requires the expansions. So this is Patronware and Emperor Thorson. The reason he fits into Patronware, he's a 6/5/5 that at the end of your turn reduce the cost of cards in your hand by 1. This is really cool because it turns the 8 mana combo of Warsong and Grim Patron into it's a 6 combo now. That's really cool because it still leaves you 4 mana to either armor up or, bring out a Death Bite or a Dread Corsair if you had to bring it out originally, or a Gnomish Inventor if you want the draw power. Now, it's widely considered that the Frothing Berserker, Warsong Commander, and the Grim Patron are the trifecta, because Frothing Berserker gets the charge off the Warsong. Now, that combo on its own, you can't play ordinarily in 1 turn, because that would cost you, it would cost you 11 mana. Thorsong would bring that combo down to 8. It would make it the cost of the old Patron Warsong Commander pre-Thorson effect. It'd bring it down to that mana cost, but you would get to pull off the extra card, and then would have this whole synergy thing, and that leaves you open to your Inner Rages, your Whirlwinds, all that fun stuff. Anywho, this has been Patronware. I have a lot of fun with this deck, and this is considered a very good ladder climb deck. So if you want to climb the ladder, you can assemble this deck, learn its little nuances. I'll do a video at some point showing off Patronware. But anywho, if you like what you heard in this video, please leave a like. That helps me out so much. And please consider hitting that big red button down below. Helps me out so much as well. You subscribe to my channel. You get to check out my videos as they come out. Anywho, this has been Sven. I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.